For most people, daily life consists of constant problem solving. From completing a homework assignment to winning a game of chess, problem solving exists in many forms and levels of difficulty. But what exactly is problem solving? In this video, we will be exploring what underlying cognitive processes exist to control problem solving and how we can improve our abilities to problem solve. To begin, let's look at a brain teaser that will require you to use your problem solving abilities.
3 men want to cross a river. They found a boat, but it is a very small boat. It will only hold 200 pounds. The men are named large, medium, and small. Large weighs 200 pounds, medium weighs 120 pounds, and small weighs 80 pounds. How can they all get across? They might have to make several trips in the boat.
Take a moment to pause the video and come up with an answer.
Did you have that aha moment? That is called insight. If you didn't figure out the solution to the problem, don't worry, we'll come back to that at the end. For now, let's break down the general processes of problem solving. There are 4 stages of problem solving. The first stage is preparation. Preparation involves learning about the problem you are trying to solve. The second stage is incubation. Incubation is when you take a break from the problem. For example, you could get pizza, go for a walk, or watch TV. The third stage is illumination. Illumination is when you recognize the solution to the problem. This might come through insight, that aha moment we were talking about, or you might have to use a more systematic approach. The fourth stage is verification. Verification involves checking your answer to make sure you have reached the correct solution.
One characteristic of problem solving is goal-directedness. Goal-directedness is the process of solving a problem by working toward the end outcome, or goal. Problem solving is a form of directed thinking. Undirected thinking, on the other hand, is not involved in problem solving because you aren't working toward an end goal. For example, daydreaming about the great score you're going to get on your final exam. Another characteristic of problem solving is sequence of operations. Using a sequence of operations involves using a series of steps to move toward your end goal. For example, long division requires using a sequence of operations to get to the solution.
Now let's talk about why problem solving is hard. There are 2 major difficulties that people encounter when trying to solve a problem. The first is functional fixedness, which is the tendency to only use objects for their intended use. In other words, a failure to think outside the box. The second difficulty is negative set, which is a tendency to solve problems in a specific way or get stuck in a single approach. If you are stuck on only one way to solve a problem, but that way is wrong, you will not be able to figure out the solution. These difficulties can be overcome using a couple of different approaches to problem solving. One approach to problem solving is through using analogies. An analogy makes connections between 2 similar problems. In order to compare 2 problems to find a solution, the problems must share similarities, purpose and goal, and structure. The fancy term for this approach is called the multi-constraint theory. The next approach involves heuristics. Heuristics look at the problem from a broad point of view. Although this approach may save time and use less cognitive resources, this method does not always guarantee a correct answer. The last approach is algorithms, which you can think of as the opposite of heuristics. Algorithms use a systematic method to solving a problem. Think of the way you would solve a multiplication problem. There are steps you must take to reach the end goal. Sometimes this process takes more time, but you will always reach the answer.
Fortunately, there are many ways to improve your problem-solving skills. The first is to increase your domain knowledge. This involves learning more about whatever you're interested in. The more knowledge you have on a topic, the easier it will be to apply this knowledge towards finding a solution. Another way to improve problem solving is to automate some of the components. Our working memory is where the majority of problem solving takes place. If you are able to make some of the steps in the problem solving process automatic, this frees up space in the working memory. Another approach is to develop sub-goals, or divide your main task into smaller, more manageable tasks. Changing your perspective or looking at the problem from a new angle can also help you find a solution when problem solving. Overall, practice. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you'll be at problem solving. To end, let's go back to our brain teaser and discuss the solution.
First, Small and Medium cross the river. Then, Small takes the boat back to the other side where Large is waiting. Large then crosses the river by himself in the boat to where Medium remains. Medium takes the boat back to the other side to get Small. Finally, Small and Medium can cross the river to the other side where Large remains.